Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race we might look back on as a path to finding the winner. Well, Sunday racing at Sha Tin this week, and the first race we're going to look at today is race 3, where our winning factor is the map. Now this is a class 2 over 1400 metres, a small but pretty handy field engaged. Oriental Smoke, I think, is not without a chance in the race, but the real focus, I think, is going to be on Winning Method from the Danny Shum yard, Circuit Stella for Zach Purton, and Tornado Phantom, who surprised punters with a big odds win over 1200 metres last start. Now, as I said, the map is going to be all important here, but let's take a look first at a couple of our video references for the race. The first one we're going to look at, this is race 339 on January 15, when Winning Method and Circuit Stella are engaged. Winning Method, gate 9 on yellow and green colours, Circuit Stella red and yellow from gate 12. And you can see out of the gates, Circuit Stella is the quicker of them, despite it being a good tempo, and he has to do a little bit of work to get forward to a place on the front end of the race, while Winning Method settles in midfield. But I want you to take careful note here of Winning Method when the speed slows at the 800 metres, and you see him over race and fighting his rider, and we've seen this quite a lot from him before when the speed drops in these races. Nevertheless, he applies himself well in the run home to finish into a close 6th, but he's just behind Circuit Stella. And just ahead of Circuit Stella there was Mr. Ascendancy in blue and yellow colours, and 9 days later they met in a better class race. This is race 365, and in the red and yellow there again, Circuit Stella, gate 1, begins well enough, but he's beaten to the lead and settles in the box seat, once again on the speed, this time in a fairly modest pace, and it looks a great place to be. That is, until they straighten for the run home, and he needs a way out. Now the leader is wobbling in and out in front of him. Beluga in the pink colours outside the leader is keeping Circuit Stella in, and Mr. Ascendancy, who has sat behind him for the whole race, comes out in full flight down the outside, and he decides the race, leaving Circuit Stella a creditable and unlucky 4th. Now that's an excellent run in a Class 1. He comes back to Class 2 here. And as I said earlier, I think the main thing here is going to be the map, and that looks a really critical advantage for this horse. Kaying Master, he's a quick horse at 1200 metres. He'll have no trouble whatsoever leading here and dictating the speed. But I doubt that his jockey Harry Bentley will be in any great hurry at his first 1400 metre attempt. So he'll be looking to control the pace, even slow it down a little bit. And we've seen what effect that can have on Winning Method. Now Purton on Circuit Stella, he should be straight onto the leader's back and getting a soft trail, as well as having a head start on the other 2 horses that look the main chances, Winning Method and Tornado Phantom, who's drawn wide and will likely go back in the field. Oriental Smoke, well, he was ridden out the back last time at this distance. I think they should recognise they got the tactics wrong there and put him up closer to the speed this time, while the rest of the field lacks pace. When the race turns into a sprint in the home straight, Purton will be there ready to come off the leader's heels, as Circuit Stella tried to do last time, and issue his challenge to the top weight whenever he chooses, while his major dangers behind him are waiting for him to make his move. So the tip in race 3, Circuit Stella. His winning factor, the map. This horse has been racing very well without winning lately, but I think the way this sets up gives him all the advantages this time. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here is the jockey. Now this is a class 3 over 1800 metres with what might be described as the usual suspects involved, plus a few recent arrivals with wildcard derby aspirations. In the latter category, we have Perfect Team from the Casper Founds yard, who caught the eye at his Hong Kong debut over 1400 metres, and also Pierre Ung trained Quantum Patch with Zach Purton jumping aboard. But I think the major players for this race are going to be the consistent likely leader Champion Dragon, co-partner Elites, who continues to draw wide, and Pegasus General, a likely improver down the bottom of the weights. So a couple of video references for this race. Firstly, race 356. A very recognisable white face of Champion Dragon here shows out early from gate 5 for Luke Ferraris, and he quickly takes his usual role in the lead over a couple of Sunday's rivals, Hit the Shot in purple and Woodfire Bro in the green colours. And this was a more relaxed version of Champion Dragon than we have seen at times. Just a moderate tempo early in the race before he picks it up after the 1200 metres and soon has most of his rivals struggling. That is, except for his stablemate and the eventual winner, 5G Patch, who is in white, yellow and blue colours. He's able to quicken up and get past Champion Dragon in a tough tussle over the closing stages. But with a good gap to the rest of the field, usually a positive sign for the reliability of any race form. Now, a few days later, Pegasus General and Quantum Patch met in the race won by Super Sunny Singh over 1600 metres. This is race 368. Pegasus General is in gate 7 with orange, white and yellow colours, and he jumps well, and Wagner Borges, you can see immediately, is looking for cover and slots in midfield, with Quantum Patch in the blue and white colours just inside and ahead of him. Now, the pace may not look slow here watching the video, but it actually was quite pedestrian, and that turns the race into a sprint from the top of the straight and leads to significant traffic problems for Pegasus General. He gets stopped towards the top of the straight right at the stage of the race he needs to be getting into it, and then he has to pick up and go again, and ultimately he can't do that, and he and Quantum Patch finish in 8th and 7th placings, quite close to each other. Now, once again, the map looks quite critical to the end result for this race on Sunday, and I expect that we're going to see Champion Dragon in his usual role up the front, while many of the runners here are get back and run on types. When we go to the map, you can see Pegasus General, well, he's better drawn this time. He looks a little bit faster early than Swan Bay drawn under him. So I can see Pegasus General getting to the fence and getting cover quickly behind the leader. And it doesn't look a race where there'll be a lot of speed, which looks negative for Quantum Patch, drawn wide this time, and also for co-partner Elites, who once again has no luck with the barrier draw. Now, this time Champion Dragon will be ridden by 10-pound claiming apprentice Angus Chung. And you often hear commentators say how well-placed horses are with an allowance when they are leaders. But I've certainly seen plenty of times that isn't true. These inexperienced riders can get the speed very wrong in front, and then that claim turns out to be a burden rather than a blessing. So I thought I'd take a detour and have a look at how Angus is looking on that scale. So Angus Chung has had 206 rides in this, his first Hong Kong season, and it's not unexpected with inexperienced riders that they will often ride and win on leaders while they gain the experience and confidence to ride more conservatively from behind. Now, Angus, as you can see here, has been in the first 3 in his races on half his rides. So far, 28% of them he has led, and 12 of his 16 wins have come on horses leading in races. But considering how positive punters tend to be about apprentices on leaders, the figure I really wanted to see here was whether his performance was holding up against those high expectations. And on the right-hand side, you can see that it is. Angus Chung has had more than 3 wins more than the betting market was expecting. So the tip from me in race 9 is Champion Dragon. His winning factor, the jockey. Yes, there's certainly a great case to be made simply on form for Champion Dragon to be able to win this race, but the way that his claiming apprentice is handling these front runners gives me extra confidence. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.